Talking about that thing. Good morning, everyone. This is the time and place for the Planning Hearing Officer hearings for September 10th, 2014. My name is Kristen Asp, and I will be conducting the hearing as Planning Hearing Officer. We have one case on the agenda today, and all relevant exhibits are posted on the panels located directly behind me. We have one variance case on the agenda this morning. I will the findings for a variance. If the evidence presented in the application and at the hearing meets the criteria, the hearing officer can either approve, impose conditions for approval on the case in questions. If the findings of fact are not evident, then the request will be denied. Public notice. Notification of this hearing was accomplished by the use of public notices, which were mailed to property owners and occupants located within 500 feet of the subject property, physically posted on the site in question, and placed in the local newspaper. The hearing will proceed as follows. I will read a description of the request and the application. I will note any comments received from other departments or letters of communication from interested parties. I will ask the case planner to make a brief overview of the case, give analysis, and make a recommendation. The applicant will then be asked to come forward stating both name and address, and will be asked to present the case within a 15-minute time limit. Others in support of or in opposition to the application and interested parties will then be asked to come forward to speak, again, clearly stating both name and address, and that will be limited to a 3-minute time limit. Lastly, the applicant will be given the opportunity to make closing comments if desired, in response to any testimony given by preceding speakers within a 5-minute time limit. The hearing will then be closed and taken under submission. As far as a decision, after the hearing, the decision will be prepared in writing and will be in the form of a letter sent to the applicant and all persons who responded to the public notice, either by speaking at this hearing or by submitting written responses and have provided their name and mailing address. The date of the decision will be the date appearing on the letter, not necessarily the date of this hearing. Appeals under the appeal provisions of Title 30 of the Glendale Municipal Code. The decision may be appealed to the Planning Commission within 15 days of the decision date, and the notice of appeal shall be filed with the Building and Safety Division located in MSB 101, just in the corner of the other side of this building. Speaker cards. If you wish to speak, please write your name and address on one of the speaker forms which have been provided at the front door, and please submit to our planning staff. I would like to inform everyone that the official proceedings of the planning hearing officers' hearings are recorded on tape as part of the public record. And now that that business is out of the way, a description of the case. It is a standards variance case, number 1418455, located at 3030 Emerald Isle Drive. The applicant is Atelier Architects. It is an application for a standards variance to construct a new 11-foot high retaining wall that exceeds the maximum permitted height of 5 feet to increase the pad area for a required third-car garage at the east end of the house located in the R1R floor area ratio 3 restricted residential zone. I am now going to turn it over to the case planner and have Mr. Baxter give his farewell performance at a hearing.
Thank you, Ms. Asp. You mentioned the project is to construct a 11-foot high wall where 5-foot high maximum wall is permitted. There was a similar variance case heard and approved on December 12, 2006 for this very same project. The applicant was proposing to add 1,064 square foot first and second floor addition. It's going to be located at the east side of the house and the south side, or the back side of the house, I should say. A third car garage is required, and to put the third car garage, you need to expand the pad area a little bit. And to do that, the retaining wall, that's what's triggering the retaining wall. The reason it's 11 feet high is that currently, if you look on the board, you can see the site plan and the topography map. And the reason that the pad area, the retaining wall, is required to expand the pad area is because there's a very steep slope, I think I noted here 14 to 16 feet in height, straight up from that side of the house. And so there's plenty of room over on that side of the house if it was a flat lot to add a garage without encroaching into a setback or create any other condition that would violate the code or be inconsistent with the code. So at this point, the 11-foot-high wall appears to be the least intrusive, according to the way staff feels, least intrusive, because it will be, for the most part, screened from the side of the house and the new garage. And it will also be obscured, not completely blocked, but obscured by the stepped planter that will be located between the street property line and the house. And so staff reviewed, and in our analysis section, let's go through very briefly the findings. We felt that it would be an unnecessary hardship to require stepping this wall back to comply with code if it even could be met then. In fact, it may not be at this location because of the setback from the property line for this one small section of the wall. Because the entire wall is not going to be 11 feet high. It's only a portion of the wall that's going to be 11. We feel that the project would be consistent, certainly with the land use element, which allows single-family houses, and retaining walls are used for development of single-family houses and hillside development. We think it would be consistent with the hillside development policy, which is in the zoning code. It's for reasonable development of a property. Many of the properties in this neighborhood are built on pads with steep slopes on either side of it, but this one has a particularly steep slope on that east side. The retaining wall will not be removing any prominent natural features or substantially alter the terrain because this is a previously developed subdivision and much of the properties have some similar characteristics. Required landscaping that will be low maintenance and drought tolerant will be planted or reviewed certainly during the process of plan check to verify that it will be, and also design review because this project will require design review for the addition. In addition, we feel that there is a unique circumstance related to this property because of that hillside slope that does dramatically increase in height from the base where the new garage will be to the top at the property line. The retaining walls are not considered to be detrimental to the public welfare. For a couple reasons, this one we felt would not be, staff didn't feel it would be, is because, again, the majority of the wall will be screened by the house, will not be visible to the public, and that portion that will be visible to the public will be obscured by some small planters in front of it, retaining wall planters in front of it. And finally, we feel that the project would be consistent with the objectives of the ordinance, which does allow single-family homes in the area, does allow retaining walls as part of a development for properties. It does maintain the natural character of this uphill slope. It also provides slope stability. The wall itself will be partially screened. Much of this is repetitive from the other findings, but we feel that it is consistent with the ordinance, and therefore staff is recommending approval. We do have conditions attached.
Okay.
That pretty much completes my presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Baxter. Just a more of a confirming question. The proposed addition and all other things associated with the addition meet setbacks, floor area ratio, other zoning standards. Is
Yes,
that
ma'am.
correct? Okay.
This project actually, again, if you'll note on some of the plans, actually had approvals. It just expired back in during this recession era.
Okay.
So all the permits expired in 2010. Other than that, it's pretty much the same project as was presented before and approved at that time.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I will just make a quick note that comments from other city departments were really just sort of standard comments relating to meeting building and safety codes and anything with fire codes. So nothing of significant note. With that, I would like to ask the applicant to come up and introduce yourself, tell me a little bit about the project and
Good morning.
what we have before us. Good morning.
My name is Farshad Ozarnush, architect representing the owner in this case. The case planner, Mr. Baxter, really described well everything that needs to be said. I just want to emphasize 4 points that the totality of the project, including this variance in this identical situation, was approved and the permit was ready to be pulled, and due to the recession, the owner could not do it. So we are here really to deal with expiration. And to do that, we have to go through this process. And item number 2 is that the visibility of this, even though in the application we are saying it's 11 feet, the retaining part is less than 11 feet. By definition, is 9.5 to 10 feet. And the visibility of this from the street is really minimal, if at all visible. For a while, we were going back and forth whether this is a visible wall and we need to go for a variance or not. At the end, Mr. Baxter decided that to be safe, we should do it. So in reality, this won't be seen from the street. And then that the retaining wall is a necessity. We did not just want to add the retaining wall to have a bigger house or do the addition. It's because of the parking requirements is what requires or necessitates having this retaining wall, and that's it. Those are the points that I wanted to emphasize, and I'm ready to answer any question that you may have or anyone else.
Okay. What is the material of the wall?
I think that was a slump block with earth tone color, the landscape going over it.
Okay. And at the...
I'm sorry, textured poured concrete. Color, Don Edwards DEC 741, which is a bone color, earth tone, not white, earth tone. And if there is any comment or change to that color, we can accommodate that. But it's a put in place. I was wrong in saying, due to the height of it, it's not structurally. It's better if it's put in place rather than block.
Okay. And I noticed that the highest point of the retaining wall is located outside the front setback, which is 15 feet.
That's correct.
But at the closest point to the interior property line, approximately how close is that?
Well, the closest point is really at the front corner, and it becomes 0 where it turns where the step wall is.
Sure, but as we come outside of that setback and get closer to the garage, the new garage,
Right here, sir.
At the
At-
closest point to an
I
interior?
would say at that point, the retaining part is about 8 feet.
No, the distance from that property line to that point right
It's
there.
about 5 feet.
Okay. And from the street, it looks, and maybe confirm this for me, it looks like you did do a series of 2 walls to sort of make a planter situation so that there was some stepping
So that the walls are shorter and
as they come out towards the
Yes.
street, so that, because it does appear from the plans that the majority of the tallest portion of the wall will definitely be screened by these
Step
other
down.
successive
Yes.
walls, and then just the corner of the house, really, or corner of the garage.
and the front
it's a
walls
two-story.
are 3 to 5 feet, the front part. What is in the front between the property line and the 15 feet setback.
And did you, I mean, it looks like the corner of the garage is the closest point of the structure of the house to the interior property line. And then there's a 5-foot clearance to sort of walk around. And did
Which
you,
is required by fire department.
and understandably so, did you ever consider doing a 2-stepped wall process further there, or?
Doing a 2-step wall right there due to the height of the slope would make the second wall touching the property line.
Okay.
And it wouldn't really give us enough space to landscape, and there would be no landscaping left if we did that.
Okay. To have a set of 2
Yeah.
successive walls, and there would just
Plus,
be
yes.
a retaining wall pretty much
Right
adjacent to the
smack in the
property line?
So
Okay.
to distance it away from the property line,
And still be able to provide
the access.
some landscaping at that end? Okay. I don't know that I have any other questions at this point. That's the biggest impact, I guess, I see potentially is in this corner, but I can see that looks much narrower there. I think that's it for my questions.
Thank you.
For now, yes.
I was going to just mention something too. On the conditions of approval, the 7 that we have listed back there. One thing that's come up, and you might know more about this, Ms. Asps, than myself, and that condition number 6 as it relates to the landscaping irrigation, the drought tolerant. Because
Okay.
don't we have something now where the city is in a
We're in a phase where using a plant palette from the bewaterwise.com website is
We
required.
comply with those.
Okay.
because I just want to say, didn't plan check, we're going to go down each of the list to make
Absolutely.
sure.
And that'll be
So just as an
verified.
FYI, it may change from what you have, or may not, but just to let you know.
And that's on that note that Mr. Baxter brought up. I don't know why I can't find draft conditions. Have you reviewed the draft conditions? Are you, there we go. Yeah.
Page 6.
And have you reviewed those,
Yes.
and do you have any
No comment.
Any
no
issues
issue.
or comments related to those? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have one other speaker card, which is the owner. I don't know if you want to speak or not. Okay, I don't have any other speaker
put something
cards.
here?
Yes, please.
I have actually a couple of clarification questions.
Okay, just 1 second. Wait till you get to the microphone, and please introduce yourself.
My name is Daniel Vartivarian. I'm the owner next door, 3036 Emerald Isle. I was a bit confused, but I think now it's clear for me. When you say east, looking at the house, it's really the right-hand side, looking at the house.
The top of the page, sir.
The top of the page, right, right, right.
You live down. Wall is up here.
Right.
Yeah,
That's the one.
He's down.
Yes. Okay. That clarifies
The
it.
addition, though, is wall is here.
Yeah. Well, all right. That clarifies it. Now you say that, so all of the additions is on that side of the house, or?
No. The addition is like it was last time. Be here. If you watch, sir, right up here on this app, if I may.
Please.
So you have, here's your street and your garage. So
Okay.
there's the addition down here.
That's the new garage.
Yeah, one garage space
Right.
right here. This
Right.
is garage space.
Right.
Then you have addition in the back.
Okay.
You have this little arch, like covered loggia patio area, covered patio. And then here, this is it. You're down here. This is this second story here. Here's the wall. Here's the first story. On the first story, and here's the wall.
Well, I thought
You're over here.
last time there was some subterranean.
Yeah, it's not there, sir.
It's not there.
It's not involved this time around. at
Okay.
all.
Very good. Thank you. Good luck.
Can I have that pen?
Oh, the pen.
Those were your questions?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I have to offer the opportunity if the applicant wants to come up and make any other statements in response.
To assure the neighbor to the left that there is no addition or change. There is no addition on his side.
Right. I
That's
see
all.
that.
And the retaining wall is on the opposite
opposite
side.
side.
Right. Good luck.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other notes? Okay. With that, I am going to close the public hearing and take this under submission. This hearing is now closed. Thank you for coming.